Hello everybody and good evening. It is February 10th, 2026 and we are live tonight with some stamping. I'm gonna make a really fun card that I hope that you will enjoy using the new Gears and Textures bundle that came out in the spring mini catalog. I do think it's in the mini catalog. I didn't even pull out the catalog to do that. So maybe I'll try to find a mini catalog here and cue that up because I'm pretty sure it's in here. But you can find all of the products online on my website. You can scan that QR code there at the top of the screen if you're watching this like on your television or on a computer. Or you can follow a link in the description to my store to be able to see all the products. And yes, it is in here. So we will take a peek at the catalog to see. So, oh, it's a light bulb. Huh, I didn't know what that die was. So that's why samples are important. The catalog gives us good samples, and even the online products will have samples. Sometimes the online will even have more pictures. And what's great about the online store is then you can like zoom in the picture to kind of see even more. So reminders for you this month is to make sure to redeem your bonus day coupons that you earned last month. They are only good to be redeemed this month. The join special continues that you join for the regular $99, but you do get the new Stampin' Positioner. So that would be really a great opportunity if you've been thinking about joining Stampin' Up. You're getting the free gift. Good evening, Linda. I see Linda's on and saying hello. And I just need a sip of water. The product of the month for February is the Painted Illusions Designer Series paper. And I have a little slide here, but I had placed my order at the beginning of the period and it showed up today, so I actually have this paper in person that I can show you. And hello, Mom is on as well. Good evening. You can purchase this February product of the month with your $75 order. You can purchase this pack paper for $5. There's also product of the month from January and December. I do believe they are all still available. It is while supplies last. This is a really cool pack of paper. So tonight, Gus is going to get in a lot of trouble. You see him back there on the stool? He was doing just fine until I did a Facebook Live trying to get people to come over. And when he hears me talking to myself, he thinks I'm going crazy, so he comes in to check on me. Okay, Mom has got the February product of the month, so that's great. It's a nice, real fun spring, and it is like very watercolory, which I like that. So I'm going to go ahead and switch the camera and we'll take a peek at that product of the month here first before we get going. Just so you can see. So let's see, my camera seems a little, there we go. So I did use some. So I do think it's 4 designs and 3 of each. 1, 2, 3. Yes. So this is one design. This is really kind of cool. And then we have this one's really neat as well. I don't know if I have a favorite. Oh, I'll show you the back. Looks like mermaid scales, I think. Then we have this one. And I like to kind of see variation of color to make it watercolor. And look how pretty this is with the leaves. And then this is the final design. Also really cool. Kind of like a little flower. It's kind of like a little flower with leaves. So I can kind of really fun, whimsical without being overly whimsical. It's like the right amount of whimsy. if that's such a thing. I really do like this kind of mermaid tail situation going on. But this side's so pretty too. That might be my favorite sheet. And with this, because there's just 4 designs, we get 3 of each. So even more fun. So again, you can get that for $5 with your $75 order. So tonight we are going to do, I've pulled out the new Gears and Textures bundle. It's on page 53 of your spring mini catalog. And I was trying to figure out what this die was here, and that tells me it is, oops, let's focus. It's a light bulb, haha. I just think that's actually really cool. So now I can't wait to use that. And isn't that fun? They mix some of the flowers in with the gears on that. what I'm doing is like a special embossing technique. And of course you can find this on the online store as well. Gus, get down. Excuse me. While I punish my child. Get down. He is the middle cat, so maybe that explains a lot. So we're going to kind of create our own specialty paper tonight using the embossing powder. And I was inspired with this from, oh wow, that is blurry. We will, oops, get that into focus. We'll just do this as many times as we need to. There we go. So this card was from the 2026 virtual card making retreat. This was card 15, where we did use the flip flap to create a little shaker. But you'll notice all of these gold elements, even here like on the tip of the sentiment, and these little die cut pieces inside of there. So you might look at this and go, oh, well, that was just some gold designer series specialty paper. But it is not. It is actually was created using embossing powder. And that is what inspired me for tonight's creation. By the way, you can still purchase the 2026 virtual card making retreat. You get access to the recordings of the videos, and you can start and pause. They are all pretty avid, as in like high skill level projects. So if you're somebody who really likes that, I highly recommend it. You get some stamp sets, including the exclusive 2026 virtual card making retreat. And I've used this sentiment on my card samples today, this happy birthday. And then that's the only way to get this stamp set is to purchase the card making retreat. So we are going to create our own specialty paper. Look, I have all of my stuff in this tray. So I'm going to set it out like my snips and my bone folder. And we're going to want this stuff. We are going to use the heat gun. And I still have the old style embossing powder. I did have to order the new embossing powder, which has been around for a little bit, which is now a branded embossing powder, the Wow. Because when I was making the card that I showed you that inspired this, I was almost out of gold embossing powder. These are sold in the trio of the metallic, so this had the gold, the silver, and the copper, and then I think there's one that's the clear, the black, and the white. Oh gosh. I'm not using my gold for this demonstration because I don't have tons of it, but I had tons of other, like I had 2 things of silver. I have this almost brand new thing of copper, and that's what I'm going to show tonight. So to make your own embossing powder, you're going to take a piece of cardstock. I am using gray because I thought as I used the dyes here that if it wasn't a perfect deal, like the gray would be a cool color if we don't have a perfect emboss. And we don't really necessarily want a perfect emboss, and I will show that to you. So you're going to need your Versamark pad, and I need to order a new one because, I mean, I've had mine is so gritty. I mean, it still works. I've recently re-inked it last night because it was low. But you're going to do this works still just fine. I would just like to keep this one for what I'm about to show you, and then have a clean one for when I'm doing sentiments or something. But it had been out of stock for a while, and then when I placed the last order, I forgot to check because I forget. So we are going to, you could use white. I think that's what we used for the card and the workshop, but I'm choosing to use the gray. I don't know if this is gray green. I think this is smoky slate, actually. And we're going to cover this with the ink. And you could do like this. I kind of find doing like a combination of like a tap, because this is it's a sponge pad, and then like a smear. Again, kind of depending where, you know, how well your ink pad is. Now, you can notice with this, you can kind of see where it's thicker in some areas, like down here we're kind of missing. But ultimately we're creating our specialty paper. Because you could certainly use foil, but you get a different look. And I can pull out a piece of foil specialty paper, and we're just going to cover the whole piece. Using my little embossing tray, which is a great handy tool. Do a little bit of this. Holy cow, I got that like all the way covered pretty much. Some of the ones that I did for trial, like I had a lot of splotches places. I had good ink coverage on that. And I'm going to just go ahead and take my tweezers to hold that in place. And I'm going to go ahead and get my powder back into the container, because if I don't, you know what'll happen. It'll make a mess because I will forget to do it after the video is over. So I just recommend just set it off to the side, or if you're doing several and you're going to use the same color, go ahead and, you know, get them all done. Because once the powder is on them, you can wait a little while for the emboss to put the heat on it. Okay, that looks pretty good. And then I kind of do a little tap. I forgot to do it this time, but sometimes I do take my embossing buddy and we'll run that in the tray, and that sometimes helps with any little static electricity that wants to go on. We gotta try to get, there's still you still get powder on your table, but that's just such as life. So I have one of the, probably in my opinion, the best heat gun on the market, which is the Stampinup heat gun. If you do not have one, or you're in the market for one, or yours just recently cranked out, I highly recommend this one. And let's see, I had it going a little bit today. I always kind of turn it on and let it warm up a little bit. Since it's a full sheet, I'm doing a little heat from behind as well. There we go. The copper was a good one to choose because you can really see it change. And so when I did this, I used the copper, I used white, I used black and silver. And doing this, it's going to look, you know, just a little different throughout the whole thing. And we're going to use this to die cut. So it does not need to be perfect. And again, I think with the gears, I think an imperfect look, like the gears and chains and whatever else it is, rebar maybe. The main thing is you want to make sure you get everything melted, and I can see where there's some where it's still, look, right, you can see the color difference. That means that's not fully melted, and it could be a little thicker in spots just because of how the ink was. And then I'm going to get underneath here. So now I have a piece of copper foil. Now if we were to compare that, do I have copper foil? Well, I have the earth tone foil. What are they? This is the earth and tone metallic. And it's copper-ish. But you can see the difference. This is, you know, it's great. It's shiny. It's very smooth. But then we get extra texture using the embossing powder. And you could do this on any size of sheet. So if you, say you only wanted to do, say you were going to do this and you only wanted to die cut this cog here, this gear, you could just emboss, you know, heat emboss the portion that you are going to use the die cut. I did this size because I went ahead and did, you know, several at one time, including like some of the long pieces. So that's why I chose to do the bigger slice, but the bigger size. But you could do this with any die that you wanted to do, even for like a rectangle die or a circle or something, if you want that extra texture. If you're a big texture person, using this technique gives you even more texture. Plus you're getting the metallic element, or you're getting black or white. So through the magic of the internet, I have several pieces that are already die cut, and so I can just show you. So here's the gear in white, and it's all on that smoky slate. Again, it doesn't necessarily matter, but I'm trying to see if I have a piece where some of it kind of shows through. I didn't use all of the pieces. I do like this kind of piece that looks like sheets of metal. But you can see the difference. Like right now, I don't even think we have black foil available, or white for that matter. You just get, and again, it's hard, I know, you just get that a little extra amount of texture. Here's like a black chain, a copper. Now, if I were to do this again, Anne-Marie would put adhesive sheet on the back of hers. I did not do that, but that's okay. I'm a professional and I feel confident in my glue skills. Just so you know, these little circles are the center from here, and I just kind of included them. So I have a white. I don't think I have a copper. I'm trying to get so you can see the white there a little bit. It's blurry because of how it goes, but that's how it is. So we have all of these gears, and we have these little pieces die cut. We're actually going to use all 6 of these little chains and like rebar. And then there's even, oh, like this one's a really good one, actually. Okay. I know it's a little blurry. I'm going to try to focus, and there we go. So this is the teeny tiny Phillips screw. And it came from the black sheet. You can see all the silver coming through, and that's just because it wasn't, and I die cut it in that portion on purpose. So there's just a little black with the gray showing through, and then here's one that the silver where it was die cut out of like a perfect emboss. So this might be a little bit more textured for this little piece, but you get the idea, where if you choose a colored piece of cardstock and you are doing the embossing powder on it, if you don't want it to be perfect, think about what color you want to see behind your embossing powder. So hopefully that makes sense. So for tonight's card, we're using a sketch from the group that I'm in, and it's the sketch here, and I think it was actually like last week's sketch, yeah, week number 2026, week number 5. So I thought this would work good just because of these 2 long background pieces. And so I have a little interpretation of the sketch. So this is this week's inspiration for our layout. So I did do some figuring these, for these background pieces, that is light gray, I cut my cardstock to 5 1/4 by 3 1/2 and then cut it in half at 1 3/4 to get these two pieces. This piece here I did at 4 by 2 1/2. Honestly, that 4 might be a little long. Maybe try 3 3/4. But we'll see that length on another sample. And then this is kind of our little sentiment piece here. So I have to create my card, and let me keep my sketch over here. Let me refocus. I see it is blurry now that I'm not. There we go. And we'll try to get the camera not too weirdly angled. I think we're okay. I can probably keep my sketch there in the corner. And let me just put this over here. Again, trying to keep everything where I want it. So I have my sentiment. I think this is a 3/4 inch piece. So I already have Happy Birthday heat embossed. And again, I used the Happy Birthday from that 2026 virtual card making stamp set that's exclusive. We have a little piece of white here for the inside. We'll deal with those later. And this is Misty Moonlight card base. And then I have the two-tone cardstock. So this is the light side, and then you can see the dark side. So you can see all three kind of misty, the dark and the regular match pretty well on the Misty Moonlight. But I am going to use the light side here for contrast. So those are my pieces here. And again, I had cut this at 5 1/4 by 3 1/2 and then cut it at 1 3/4. So then I kind of get this gap like that. So that's the measurement I used. You could probably adjust that a little bit depending on your taste. And yes, of course, this is two-tone cardstock, which means what am I going to do to it? We're going to distress it. Yes, we're going to wrinkle it up. We're going to get our little sander here. One other thing I would do differently, because I did the same thing on my sample, I would keep this as maybe the full piece and then crinkle. It's hard to crinkle these smaller pieces. Like, it makes me feel like I'm really going to mess it up. So you might try crinkling and distressing and then trying to cut in half, but maybe that's too difficult for you. I don't know. I would probably try to do the larger piece next time. So we have the crinkle, and then I'm just going to go over with my little sanding block just to get some of that white to show through. And we're going to do that to this one as well. It's just like a awkward size to crinkle. Like, you do this and then it's got a line right in the middle. It's like, I don't really want that. So I'm gonna like open it back up, and there's really no wrong way to do this, right? If you wanted, you could come around. Maybe we'll do a little distress on the ends as well. Maybe come through with my scissors and do a little rough up on the edge. We're going to do this technique again, actually on the sentiment. Okay, so there we go. It's distressed. We are going to stamp on the background. I have the little splatter. It's still got some ink from my other sample on there. This is, I don't know, that's like a paint splatter. I guess this is kind of paint splatters too. Little splooches. And we're going to do tone on tone Misty Moonlight ink. And I'm going to use the second generation sometimes. I need to get, there we go. All right, that's good enough. And you know what, while we're stamping, I have the inside here, and this is a landscape card, and I just have the little, this gear stamp here. So that's just going to be the bottom of the inside there. I thought the little two-tone on that. So this will just set off to the side for a little bit. Back to work. Okay, we are going to adhere these on to the front. This is, you know, the more I try to play into what I really like, the more I just really love texture, like all the different textures. And this card gives you a lot of texture using the two-tone cardstock. So if you are really, and I know I've probably said this before, if you watch me a lot, the two-tone cardstock really does give you a great opportunity to get some easy texture. You know, you may not have them, maybe you're just starting out, you don't have embossing folders. Two-tone cardstock, you can get one of the like kind of variety packs, because that's several colors, and they're 12 by 12 sheets. They're an economical choice. I do recommend having regular cardstock for a card base, so pick up a thick white or a white, and then you can have some two-tone cardstock and just crinkling it and getting a little piece of sandpaper really gives you some like automatic texture. So then that brings us to these pieces here. This is where I have to decide where things are going. I've got a lot of chain pieces, 2 silvers, 2 coppers. Okay. So I'm just going to go with this, and I'm going to be very careful about gluing these down. And I do have a handy dandy block over here that's kind of dirty. So again, you would avoid this situation with the adhesive sheets. I knew better, but to be honest, I was so excited. I just wanted to get the items die cut out because I really wanted to see it. Like I saw this die, this one, and I couldn't visualize it in my head. Like, I could visualize this one, I could visualize this. I could not visualize that in my head. So I was just real excited, I guess, about seeing it. So I'm just trying to put the Tombow. The Tombow is going to dry clear. And I'm confident with my gluing, like the flow, because I did make a sample. And if you're not sure on your flow, use a little piece of scrap paper and test it, because you do not want gobs of glue coming out. This does hold very well. And with this being really cardstock on the back, versus sometimes like the foil back is a little different. The foil is a little thicker. I'm very confident that this is going to hold together. So when my original idea with this, with utilizing the sketch, which has left the window, was I wasn't going to have these background pieces. And when I laid it out, it just, the length of the chain and like the rebar kind of pieces weren't the length. So that's why I went, okay, let me go grab the two-tone and we'll go from there. So I'm just trying to... So I thought that using that light two-tone, the light side, was a good solution to still making our die cuts the star. Okay, so those are now down. So then we have this piece here, which I am fully using die cuts to represent. Let's see, I want to like this copper. So I'm kind of just laying out what I want them to look like. Now I am going to glue these down versus let's see, like doing dimensionals. That's my preference. Let's see here. And I guess maybe I think I have this black one would go in the middle here. Okay, so we'll kind of do that. Much easier to glue these down, especially these large gears. Again, I like using the block. We're just dealing with now at this point, we have this, we have these, it's a lot, it's kind of a lot going on, but the Tombow can handle it. I promise. This just allows me to press it down without getting too goopy. And then we'll get this one, kind of float that. Okay, so there we are. That one kind of slid out of place. Let's see if that's going to stay. I think it's going to. I'm looking at my sample. I didn't use this one, and I'm like, can I stick it in there? I think it's okay that it's not there. And honestly, gears do whatever they're going to do. So that brings us to the sentiment. And I'm just going to snip that off. You could use your trimmer if you're nervous about that. Let's see. Can I do the point? I tried to do the point on my sample, the one I did before, and I failed. You think I can do it on this one? Let's see. I think I need a little bit more. Ooh, I'm so scared. Oh, there we go. I am going to use, I told you when I was roughing up the edges that we were going to do that with this. I want to do this over a trash can, but okay, we'll just do it here. Now this is regular cardstock that this is embossed on, so it's the same as the card base. Otherwise we would be seeing white on here. And again, that was a choice that I made. You could certainly use two-tone cardstock to do your sentiment. But I also wanted it to stand out a little bit, knowing it was going in between the two-tone cardstock. Let's see if I can be a little tidy. So see how that kind of helps it stand out. We are going to put this on with dimensionals. Where did those go, Anne-Marie? The only thing I didn't have sitting out ready to go, I guess. That's not too bad for me. Those are little ones. I need regular size ones. So those are little ones too. I'll just, when in doubt, just get a new sheet. I was using some left over from a kit or a paper pumpkin, and they, oh, here they are. Aha. I was just accusing them of wandering off. So we are going to do dimensionals on the sentiment. That's going to be our pop here. Now I didn't do necessarily anything with this, but I am going to use a couple of those little screw punches. That doesn't belong there. Or die cuts. Kind of as an embellishment. They are kind of a delicate piece of work, but nothing to take your pick tool can't probably handle. Let's see, let's get this white one. Now there's not a, this is definitely where the adhesive sheets would be better. Let's use this grungy black one too. Now you see that white glue, it is going to dry clear. I am going to try to use the death poker here to make it a little thinner, if I can lift any of it up. So that that's like the bling for the card, are the little screws there. And then here is my inside. So we can there's some weird speckles of, I guess, embossing powder there. And now we have this really cool birthday card. And then I still have all of these little pieces left. Like, I like this. I was going to try to stick that in there somehow, and I was like, I didn't need it. But this would be great behind a sentiment. You know, you could, like, layer, you know, like just that, and then like the little those new little banner things. You know, this, you know, we could layer. It does not like the silver and white together, so we could layer two pieces here, maybe with the white on the black. You know, we could layer. You know, don't be afraid. This is definitely a set that you could play around with and really have a lot of fun. We could layer that on top of there to give a white center. That's actually really kind of fun. I don't have any copper left. I had more silver cut out. I have the copper done. Now look at this. Do you see that? That's the inside of the little screw die. Isn't that crazy? You do get some little pieces, so you make a little mess and have your trash can ready to go. So here is the same card with Mossy Meadow. Here's that's what I ended up doing because I failed attempt. And then the inside is pretty much the same. So we could maybe guess whose birthday cards these are. I think one has passed and one has not occurred yet. So my goal is to get these in the mail this week to get birthdays. I do need to take pictures of these. I'm really proud about how these turned out. I think it's okay that, like, I don't have that piece here, but I don't think it needs it. Like, I could try to... I don't think it needs it because of the white. I think... Get down. Get down. It's not your birthday card. I think just because this is the silver and white gear, it needed that extra little black there. Now, for more of the traditional card, this was the sketch, just using those full measurements that I gave you. I did add a little 1/8 inch border here. So this is the two sides of the paper, the product of the month paper. So again, the back layer I cut at 5 1/4 by 3 1/2, and then it's cut in half at 1 3/4. This piece, the DSP, is 4 by 2 1/2. So I kind of think if you did maybe 3 3/4 by 2 1/2, you'd maybe get a little bit smaller. But I did use a smaller sentiment. Gus, get down. The hello comes from the stamp set from the 2026 virtual card making retreat, and then I took the linen thread to kind of give this little accent and just wrapped it around and tied a little tiny bow. And then I did add some pearls. What are these? I think these might be Pearls of Beauty. I added some pearls on there as well. So a cute little hello card. And then inside I did, I used the flower stamp because these little flowers here kind of look like the flower from that virtual card making stamp set. So kind of a good time. Absolutely, you can add extra to the sketch anytime. It is there as inspiration. Think about if these were like long ovals, or this was an oval, or this was like a different shape. You can think about different shapes as well. And that's kind of where this comes into play a little bit, just interpreting this back layer with the gears. Where here, this is a little bit more of a literal interpretation. And this is the Darling Duckling, because there was just a little bit of it there. So I was like, yeah, I think that's going to give it like the right pop and the sentiment as stamped in Darling Duckling as well. I do like this wrapping the linen thread around the banner. You could just tie a knot. My tails were long enough that I was able to get a bow out of it. So it just adds, you know, a little texture, a little bit of extra fun. That linen thread. I actually think linen thread is not currently available, which is a crime. Linen, we should all have linen thread all the time, including Stampinup. The last I had saw, but that would have been last week. So you can, if there's a product that you see online and it's saying that it is not currently available, you can put your email address in that when you click on the product, and Stampinup will send you an email when it's back in stock, which is fantastic. So shout out to my Beyond the Challenge group that I'm in as a demonstrator. If you are a demonstrator and you happen to be watching this and you are interested in joining an accountability group, there is a fee associated with that. You can reach out to me and I could tell you about the group, and that's how I've been getting these sketches, and then I'm printing them out and putting them on this for mine. And then I even, so for my show, everybody knows, like, I am going to track, so I use this for YouTube. This was this week's sketch, which is actually really cute. Almost used this for the gears, you know, because the gears, you know, that strip, the deal, but I don't know, there was something about this that I could get more of the little pieces in. So again, if you are a demonstrator and you're interested in an accountability group, I can tell you about the Beyond the Challenge group. I've been in it now for 2.5 years, I think. It's run by demonstrator Kevin Thiessen. I know I say his name wrong. But it's a good group for me anyways. I get a lot out of it. So lots of good inspiration. And then I'm able to pass that inspiration on to you all. So that's going to be it for tonight. I am back next week with some more projects. Another project. Again, hope that this inspired you to, you know, if you, mom, got a ton of embossing powder, mom, you can create your own sheets. And again, it gives you just that little bit of extra texture. And hopefully when I do pictures of these, that will capture the extra texture you get by creating your own specialty foil. Maybe that's what it should be. It should be embossed specialty foil. Create your own specialty foil. I don't know. But it's kind of fun, especially when I don't have black foil. Well, you can make it if you've got embossing powder. So that's it. As always, if you have any questions, please reach out to me through my email, through my socials. You can text me. My phone number is out there. I'm not going to say it over here, but you can find it. It's not too difficult probably to find it. And then also remember, you can mail a card this week. It is Valentine's on Saturday. It's not too late. Less than $1, you can make somebody's day. Send a smile for less than $1. We all have cards. Send them out. And we'll see you around the internet, and we will be here next week unless something weird happens. And if that is the case, there'll be a message on Facebook if something happens another way. This cat, you can't see him. That's what I put up with. I know, it's a mess in here, but he just goes up there and starts messing with stuff. Alright, everybody, have a great evening. Thank you, as always, for being here. Oh, I didn't tell anybody to like and subscribe. If you are still watching this and you haven't liked the video, please like it. And don't forget to subscribe so you get the notifications. And then I show up in your list of subscription. Alright, bye everybody, good night.